All right. And again, hi everybody, and thank you so much for joining NFI Solutions today for this presentation. We're super excited to introduce Oceanview, your next preferred carrier, along with some other unique products. We are joined today by Dan Gallina, who is head of their national accounts. Just a few housekeeping items before we begin. This webinar will be recorded. If you would like a copy of the webinar after this presentation, please send an email request to marketing@NFI Solutions or give us a call at 952-887-1239. This information will be pinned in the chat as well. There will be a Q&A session at the end of the presentation. If you have any questions, feel free to pop them into the Q&A chat and we will go about answering them. That being said, take it away, Dan.
Well, good morning, everyone, and thank you for the opportunity to speak to all of you today about Oceanview. I also wanted to I'll let you know that Matt Lefko, our senior internal wholesaler, is also joined the call. He will be your key contact other than myself if you need anything related to Oceanview. So Matt, thank you for joining us this morning as well. And today, let me pull up my presentation and we can get started. Here we go. So my goal today is to take you through the Oceanview deep dive. Really give you an overview of Oceanview, some of our products, and our marketing materials. Here's my contact information. I'm Dan Gallina, heading up national accounts. This is my cell phone number along with my email address. You're more than welcome to reach out to me for anything you need related to Oceanview. We love to continue to grow our partnership with NFI and be a stronger relationship and grow business together for both of us. Our disclosure document. And my agenda today is very simple. I'm going to tell you about Oceanview and a little bit about our parent company, Bayview Asset Management, just so that you have full knowledge of how we work here at Oceanview. Walk through our suite of products, our annuity products, highlight some of our marketing resources. I won't be able to highlight all of them, but I'll touch base on a few of the key pieces that are used by many of the advisors across the country, and then we can open it up for questions. So first off, let me start off by talking about Oceanview. We are AM Best rated, A- with an excellent rating. We've had a positive outlook with AM Best for about 18 months right now, and we feel that we're on the verge of going to a full A. Typically with AM Best, if you've had a positive outlook for more than 12 months, it's AM Best gearing up to give you an upgrade. So we're very hopeful that we'll have a full A rating by the end of this year. And I know that'll be really a huge achievement for Oceanview in the short time that we've been in business. So we're looking forward to that.
Hey, Dan,
Yes.
I don't believe your slides are moving.
Oh, they're not. Oh, because they're moving on mine. Let's just take a look here. Do you see the slides now?
You do see the slides, but is it supposed to be in full screen? Right now it just shows the file open and it's not shown as full screen at the moment.
Okay, that's interesting. Let's just see if I can figure this out for you. Because I put it in presentation mode. Let's try that again. See all slides.
You're sharing your screen, correct?
I am, yes. And I see on your system it's showing that I'm sharing my screen and the slides were moving. Do you not see the presentation?
Like I said, I do see the slides. It might be that you're sharing the wrong screen.
Let's try this. Can you see the slide move now?
I do not. It's still, well, actually, I see Ocean Deep Dive. Is that the slide that you were wanting to be on?
That's the first slide. Let's see if we advance to the second slide, if you can see that.
Okay.
You see my contact information now?
I do not. Here,
let's
see.
Why don't I stop sharing and
Dan, you have more than one screen. You be selecting the wrong screen to share the presentation there.
Yeah. Let's try again. Share screen. Window. share from the beginning. How's that? Does that work for you now?
That is not full screen, no.
It is not. Well, that is very interesting because,
You might have to go one by one, Dan. We see the PowerPoint outline outside of it, if that makes sense. We see the whole screen.
Okay. Can you see me advance, Matt?
So now we see your contact. Yep, yeah, we can see you moving through those that way.
So
Okay. Let's just stay like this since it's working.
All right. Sounds
So
like
I apologize for the technical difficulties, but all right. So here, start over real quick. So here's my contact information, cell phone and email address. Here is our disclosure document. Here's our agenda for today, talking about Oceanview, our product suite, along with our marketing materials. Here's our slide about we are AM Best, A minus. And then let's move on to our parent company, Bayview Asset Management. So Bayview Asset Management has been a mortgage initiator and management of mortgage portfolios since 1995. They've had a long standing in the mortgage industry with a great track record. And one of the things that Bayview started to get requests for was other large insurance carriers wanting to get a portion of their general accounts to be more focused or have a piece of mortgage exposure to get greater yields. And they would come to Bayview Asset Management and make those requests. And after a few requests, they decided that it was a great concept, having a mortgage company working with an annuity carrier, have the ability to have higher yields at a lower risk. And they decided to create Oceanview in 2019. They saw it as a really unique opportunity. So in 2019, Bayview Asset Management created Oceanview. At that time, they did about a $1.1 billion raise to create Oceanview. That's what allowed Oceanview to get the A- rating right off the start. And we have kind of a unique situation because, of course, our portfolio has a large portion of it in mortgage allocation, up to 45%. Right now, the portfolio is around 38%. Bayview Asset Management focuses mainly on residential mortgages, nothing under prime, so all prime paper above. In fact, their minimum FICO score for a client to get a residential mortgage with Bayview is a 720 FICO score, so they are looking for good paper. They manage their own paper. They don't sell any of what they have, and they don't buy anyone else's paper. So they're very concentrated on only managing what they have, and they have had fantastic returns from the very beginning. In fact, they've only had 2 down years since 1995, and that was in the year 2000 and 2008. Those are the only 2 years they had a negative return. So overall, it makes a really great partnership. As I said, allows us and our asset management team to see that we can get higher yields and we have a lower risk because we know what the performance that we can get from Bayview Asset Management. When you take a look at our financial strength, you'll see that we have just about $6.5 billion in asset as of 12/31, and those assets continue to grow through this year. We're expecting to probably end close to $10 billion by the end of this year. And our risk-based capital, is at 398, which is one of the leaders in the industry. So very strong company, conservative. We've made great strides over the last 3 years. In fact, our sales have continued to grow year after year. In 2021, they did just under $1 billion. In 2022, we did. I apologize. In 2021, they did about $1.6 billion. In 2022. We finished at about $2.4 billion, and this year we're on track to do around $3.2 billion. So we slowly have been moving forward in growth. Nothing of a large increase in a short period of time. No situations where we have like a pig in the python scenario where we take on more business than we can handle. But steady growth year over year, and we have a wonderful 5-year projection that I know that we're on track to hit, and more to come. So we definitely want to continue to grow, and we're on the right path to do so. We are located in Phoenix, Arizona. That's where Matt is, in beautiful Phoenix, Arizona. Of course, that is the best place to get the most amazing ocean view. If you haven't been to Phoenix, the view of It's just incredible. Of course, little joke, but we do business in all 47 states, not in New York. We're probably going to be in Connecticut by the end of the year, and then we'll take a look at Vermont, but we don't have any plans to do business in New York. In Phoenix, we have our sales team along with our operations team located there as well. And if we move on to our annuities, we have a very simple story here at Oceanview. We essentially have two products. We have our Harborview multi-year guaranteed annuity, or MIGA, and we have our Harborview fixed index annuity. As I said, a very simple story. No matter what you're going to sell at Oceanview, it's going to be Harborview. It's just a matter of will it be the Harborview MIGA or the Harborview fixed index annuity. And great kudos to our marketing team on the fantastic naming of products. Made my life very easy because I can always just say you're going to sell Harborview and make a simple story. But as we take a closer look at Harborview MIGA, we have tenors in 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 10. All of our products issue up to age 89 and 364 days. So as long as the client hasn't turned 90, we will accept the case. And we do have a 10% free withdrawal starting the second year. Taking a look at the index annuities, surrender periods of 3, 5, 7, and 10. Durations, again, issuing up to age 89 and 364 days. You do have the 10% free withdrawal. This also has additional liquidity through a nursing home confinement waiver and the terminal illness waiver. Help the clients out should they need extra liquidity. Continuing with the index annuity, crediting strategies, continuing with that simple story. So with our index annuity, we only have 3 indices, the S&P 500, the Russell 2000, NASDAQ 100, and then we have our fixed bucket or fixed account, 1-year fixed account. In my travels, I got to say that I'm getting a lot of kudos for having a very simple story. They're all indices that clients have heard about. They're all indices that have a long track record. So when you run an illustration, that's true performance. We don't have any low volatility strategies. So everything is really simple to explain to a client and very straightforward when it comes to the performance and how the product will work for the client. Just a very simple accumulation story. When we take a look at rates, let's first take a look at our MIGA rates. So Oceanview has been really a dominant force when it comes to the short term. So whether it be the 2-year tenor or the 3-year is where we've gotten the bulk of our business. Just this week, we raised the 2-year to 4.9%. And then we have the 3-year, 4-year, and 5-year all at 5%. Right now, when we take a look at sales, about 70% of our business is in the 3-year and about 20% is in the 2-year, and then the rest will be in the other tenors. One thing I want to point out when you take a look at our rates, our high band is at $80,000. And I think that's a great differentiator for Oceanview. It's not $100,000. It's not $250,000. Gives clients the opportunity to get better rates without having to put in more premium. When we take a look at Harborview, our fixed index product, we have continued to have steady growth in our index annuities. In fact, this year, in 2023, we've seen an increase in index annuity sales month over month, every month this year. And June was the best month the company had ever had in index annuity sales. One of the driving forces for our business in index annuities is our fixed rate, the 1-year fixed bucket. If you take a look all the way to the right-hand side, the 10-year with a fixed bucket at 6.75, that is an enhanced rate with a base rate of 4.25. But the opportunity to offer your clients a 1-year rate of 6.75 on a fixed index annuity is a pretty great story. Our closest competitor in the 10-year space has a fixed account at 5.25. So we're 150 basis points ahead of our closest competitor. And then when we take a look at caps at 11.85. I know that there are a couple carriers out there that have better caps on the S&P, but when it comes to the Russell 2000 and the NASDAQ 100, we have the highest caps. And we're only one of 4 carriers that offers either the Russell or the NASDAQ 100 when it's not tied to a low volatility strategy. So that's something else that's unique. If you want to give your clients the opportunity for better performance, one of the things that I promote along with our sales desk is to use 1/3, 1/3, 1/3 in the S&P 500, the Russell, and the NASDAQ. It does give a really great performance, and it looks really good on an illustration. Moving to the left one, our 7-year product, again, with a fantastic fixed account at 6.15, caps at 11.35. Same scenario as a 10-year. We're in the mix with the S&P, maybe not at the top, but we're at the top for the Russell and the NASDAQ. And in my travels, there was a lot of requests to really boost the 5-year. And over the last 6 weeks, we've done some new repricing, and we've actually had 3 rate changes on the 5-year, each of them moving up. So currently we have the fixed account at 5%. And this week we raised the caps to 10.25. And we feel that's probably the next big push for us, is to drive as much business in the 5-year with advisors across the country. There seems to be a little more demand for that versus the 7-year. 3-year is still in the mix. It's not as popular considering where MYGA rates are right now, but we do have the 3-year surrender period if you like. When we talk about marketing resources, first off, let me just say everything I'm going to show you is client approved. So you can take it and use it with your clients right in front of them. Use these tools to help tell the story of Oceanview, of our products, and the sales concepts through our marketing tools and resources. Additionally, we do have some custom ads that we can build as well. So let me walk you through the tools. First off, looking at MYGA resources. This is not all of them, but these are the most popular pieces that we get requests for from advisors wanting to get these pieces sent to them. First one is the CD versus MYGAs, a simple comparison of the side-by-side of what the differences are between a CD and a MYGA, especially in today's marketplace. As we've seen interest rates come up and CD prices come up, what's really the reason why I would take a look at a MYGA versus a CD? It's a strong piece to tell that story. The interest rate accumulation, being able to put down in front of a client, this is what your return would be if you put $100,000 in based on the current rates. And we update these sheets as we have rate changes. So no need to pull out the calculator, Mrs. Smith. Let me just show you. If you put $100,000 into Oceanview's 3-year, at the end of the 3 years, this is what your accumulation value would be. And of course, laddering has always been a popular sales concept within MYGAs. We have a piece for that. And getting higher returns on your safe money. Another concept of comparing MYGAs versus a safe money alternative. Moving to fixed index annuities. These are more educational pieces for clients. So if a client is not familiar with how a cap rate works or a participation rate works, you've got a piece to explain it to them. I'm not talking about our specific product, but really explaining to a client how those strategies work and how they get to their returns. And then we've got a piece called Getting Back to the Surface, which has been very popular considering the volatile market we've had over the last 12 to 18 months. Really illustrating to the client the benefit of having a fixed index annuity. We've all heard it before, zero is your hero, but also illustrating, in a market where we do have losses, this is the amount of returns you would need to get before you would get whole. And then, of course, you as the advisor could talk to the client about, well, we don't have to worry about that if we're in a fixed index annuity due to resetting. You always start from the last spot you were with no losses, and you grow from there. And then we've got crediting strategy resources. So for your clients that say, I've heard of the NASDAQ, but what's the NASDAQ 100? Well, here's a one-page piece you can use with them to walk them through what the NASDAQ 100 is, what the top holdings are. Same thing with the Russell 2000 and the S&P 500. So you can really illustrate the benefit of these strategies and what they invest in. I know one of the things that comes up a lot is clients say, well, isn't NASDAQ all tech companies? And yes, to some degree. But over this year, we've seen a shift in the NASDAQ 100 with more what I would call consumer-friendly companies. So there is Amazon, Starbucks, Pepsi, and so on. So the way I position the NASDAQ 100 when doing presentations is to talk about going back to when I really started in the industry. And that was, get your clients to buy into companies that they buy products from all the time. So what toothpaste to use, what soap to use. So I've been trying to really push the NASDAQ 100 because of its great performance, but do you go to Starbucks? Do you shop from Amazon? Do you ever buy Pepsi products? And so on. And using that as a tie-in to the NASDAQ 100, kind of take away the fear of it's all tech. And then, of course, showing what great performance it's had this year. Continuing on, we've started to create the scenario series. And we've got both the MYGA and the index annuity, both of them showing the same sales concepts, depending which product you want. And that is showing the benefits of principal protection and the guarantees you get from fixed products. And then leaving a legacy. Many of our clients, as we get older, we start to think about that we're going to leave money behind. I know a lot of times the go-to product may be a single premium life product, so I can put in the lump sum, I get the acceleration, and that money passes on tax-free to my heirs. But in some cases, clients are not going to get approved for that. They may answer yes to one of those knockout questions. Here's a great fallback piece, and that would be to use either the MYGA or the index annuity as an option to, again, leave money behind for their heirs. Of course, it won't be tax-free, but it does allow that money to grow principal protection, so they know there'll be no losses. They'll have access to it with a 10% free withdrawal. And then when they do pass away, that money will go to their heirs probate-free. And finally, we have advisor custom ads. So maybe you said, I'd really like to send out an email or a letter to my clients regarding the great rate, 6.15 on the 7-year fixed index annuity, or something related to the 5-year index annuity, or maybe you like the 2-year MYGA for short term. We can build a custom ad for you. All we would ask is that you send me the information of what you would like co-branded, and in about 48 hours, we'll send it back to you. And then you can use it with your clients. Again, already client approved. We'll just co-brand it, and then you can start using it to promote your practice and the rates at Oceanview. So to give it a quick recap, we talked today about the Oceanview story. AM Best, A-, our parent company, Bayview Asset Management, and their great track history. Talked about our Oceanview product suite between our MYGA and our index annuity, again, highlighting that we have really great rates in the short term when it comes to MYGAs, and fantastic caps and fixed account rates on our index annuities, and then our marketing resources, all client approved and ready for you to help tell the story about Oceanview and the products that are best fit for your client to meet their solutions. And finally, it hasn't come out yet, but we are going to be coming out with another MYGA sometime in September, so keep your eye out for that. This will be an opportunity to get some better rates by offering the product without free withdrawal or without offering a death benefit, especially when we take a look at shorter surrender periods. That may be a position for your client. They buy a 2-year MYGA. Is there a chance that you won't need a 10% free withdrawal? There may be. And by not taking the free withdrawal, they can get a higher rate. More to come on that. You probably start to see some things trickle out the beginning of September, and then in September, we'll launch the product. And finally, I know Matt's on the call, but this is our toll-free number to our sales desk, so you can reach Matt here along with anybody else on the sales desk to run illustrations, get you product information, spec sheets, rate sheets, whatever you need when it comes to Oceanview. They're there for you, and of course, help with case design if you have any questions about which products or which services that we can offer. Let me close just one last thing. And I know that in the industry today, one of the biggest challenges is service, and that is the processing business and getting advisors appointed within the carrier. I just want to share with you that that's not a challenge here at Oceanview. We have, even through our growth, we have continued to invest in technology, and our SLAs are top of the industry. Right now, cash with app in good order does process and issue within 48 hours. A 1035 in good order, we do send out the LOA within 72 hours to the surrendering company. We do appoint and have advisors in our system within 24 hours. We are just in time, so they'll be in the system, not fully appointed until we have a piece of business, but they will be in the system and ready. And we have a fantastic website with an agent portal where you can get all the information on your clients. You can run our e-applications through Firelight, and you can also see all the information and statements on your client. So with that, let me turn it back over. I'll stop sharing and open it up to any questions that you may have.
Just give a little time to
Sure.
people to write up their questions.
Okay.
All right, and looks like we have a couple questions. So one is, what surrender charge percentage will Oceanview take?
So surrender charges on a 1035, the way we fit right now on our index annuity is as long as the client goes into the fixed account and they're made whole with the fixed account with their surrender charge, we will take it. So if you were going to the 10-year product, essentially we would take a 6% surrender charge because the fixed account would make the client whole with the fixed bucket.
All right, awesome. And then another question is there an expected timeline to be able to write in CT?
No, unfortunately, we've had some pushback with Connecticut, and the process is taking a little longer. Our expectations were really to be live in that state in July, but it looks like Connecticut has come back and asked for some additional financials. So the next target date is October. So I don't want to make any promises, but that's the next target date to go live in Connecticut.
All right, and then looks like they would like for you to please talk about the renewal rate history.
Sure, I'd be happy to. So let's first start off with MIGAs. So our renewal policy right now is to renew MIGAs at new money rates. So we're having all of our 3-year MIGAs really come due this summer is the bulk of them. So they started in July. Back in April, we made the decision to pay new money rates. So for a client that is renewing on a 3-year MIGA this summer, they will get the 5% rate. And that's our policy today. The way we do renewals as far as notifications is 40 days before the anniversary date, we'll notify the client and the advisor with a letter. 30 days before contract anniversary, we will send an email to the advisor. And then at contract anniversary date, either we will renew into the same tenor again, or we will go with the guidelines of the advisor, whether it's surrender or to free withdrawal.
All right, and would it be possible to display the MIGA rates again?
Oh, sure. Let's give that a shot.
All right, and while you do that, we do have a couple more questions here. Another one is, and I'm sure you already touched on this, but I think a refresher would be great. How long does it take to be appointed? I believe you mentioned 48 hours earlier.
So we will appoint the same day.
Okay.
So think of our appointment in two steps. So we will have the advisor's information in our system within 24 hours. That's without any background checks or anything along the lines. So if Matt was to send me appointment paperwork today, we would have Matt in our system today, but we will not fully appoint until Matt sends us an application. So if Matt was to send me appointment paperwork and an application, we would move him to the top of the pile, get him in the system, get it through the appointment process, and process his business as quickly as possible.
All right, and I see one more question in the Q&A, and I believe that they're trying to ask, what are your limits for qualified products?
I would have to get a little more on what you mean by limits on qualified products.
So with this one, I think the person might be asking, like, what is the maximum amount of premium will you guys accept for qualified? And then what is the minimum premium? And that's listed, on the MIGA rates right there as well.
Yeah, so the minimum is $20,000. We have an exception process or an approval process for any dollar amount over $1 million. But we've had approvals for up to 10 million. So each case will be, stand on its own. So we would ask, if you had a large case, we'd ask for the client's name, age, health, where the money's coming from, a little bit of their assets, and then I have a form and we'll go through the exception process. Typically, I get an answer back within 2 hours, though. So we're pretty quick to turn around with an answer, and we've had very few declines on large cases. So please send them to us.
All right, and then another question popped up, and they're asking if they are able to download customer-approved flyers from your website.
Yes, you are. So if you go to oceanviewinsurance.com, you can click on at the top professional, and then there is actual links to the brochures, client brochures, the MIGA resource tools that we have, sales tools, the index annuity sales tools, along with all of our documents. And you don't have to log into any portal or anything to get all those documents.
All right. And would it be possible to display the fixed rates on fixed index annuities? There's a
Sure.
follow-up question to that. What are the chances of annual continuation of the rates? Looks like in the past, some of your rates have been lowered.
So on index annuities, the renewals have been whatever the cap was the previous year they've renewed at. So if you had purchased a index annuity in August of last year, at that time the cap rate was 6%. It will renew this year at 6%. So we've been, as far as renewal integrity, we've kept all the rates steady. The only case that we've had any rate reduction would have been if we had any fixed rate, 1-year fixed rate enhancements, like the rate we have today at 6.75. The base rate is 4.25. So we know that next year the fixed account will be at 4.25, and that's what it's priced to be at. So that's the only time we've had any reduction is on fixed accounts with the FIA.
All right. And what would the agent pay rate be?
I can send you folks the comp grades, but I don't have it in front of me for your agency.
Okay. I'll just give a couple more minutes here for any
Sure.
last minute questions.
I would love to say we pay more than everyone else, but we don't. So if we're pretty much in line with all of our competitors on compensation.
All right, and looks like I don't see any other questions popping up. I want to thank you all for taking time out of your busy day to join us for this webinar. Thank you, Dan, for presenting.
Thank
Please
you.
feel free to reach out to NFI Solutions with any questions or concerns. We look forward to working with you and getting you on the path to no stress success with Oceanview.
Definitely.
All
Thank you.
right.
Thank you very much. Have a wonderful day.
Thanks, everybody.
Okay, bye-bye.